What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome to a update video. Now this video is basically just going to be about I guess several things. Okay, so about a year ago I made a video called why I quit Chick-Fil-A. The video will be in the description if you want to check that out. Basically, in the video I went on a huge tangent about my experience working at Chick-Fil-A at that moment and what led me to quit. Now, a lot of people gave me hate, a lot of people were on my side, but one of the things that I've noticed in the comment section of that video to this day is a lot of people are coming at me with a lot of hate towards my work ethic, and I feel that I want to address that. And the only reason I'm bringing this up after, a year later is to kind of shine some light on some things. I've always planned on doing an update video to this, but the time was never right, and now I think this is the perfect time. So basically, I'll give you guys a quick recap though. I basically quit Chick-Fil-A was because it was just me. I was working this retarded shift, and I was expected to do way much on my own. And for those of you who are wondering, it was not just a single Chick-Fil-A that you can just pass on the street. This was actually one that was in a hospital. So it was very different. It wasn't like I was left to manage an entire store by myself. That just wasn't happening. But basically I was left to do too much on my own for a new guy. I was like my second or third day in, and they expected me to do way too much, and it was to the point where it just really wasn't possible. And I also got sick. Believe it or not, I actually got sick from the food. Like, I don't know what it is about greasy food like that. I guess being around it too much literally made me sick. I don't know why, but it was the case. I just got sick, and that was that. Now, I wanted to kind of compare Chick-fil-A to the job I'm working at now, which is Walmart. For those of you who don't know, I started working at Walmart about 7 or 8 months ago, and I want to kind of compare the two and just kind of get you guys' initial thoughts and opinions to that video and to this one that I'm making right now. So first things first, working at Walmart has been a pretty humble experience. I've never really worked at retail for a long period of time. I worked at a place called Ollie's for about 3 months, and I left. And the only reason I left was because that job started to become really shady. The first strike was when they decided to not pay us at all. We literally went 3 or 4 weeks without a paycheck. That is completely unacceptable. Second of all, the managers were dicks, but I don't feel that people should never be the reason why you're leaving a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should never leave a job because people are assholes. People are assholes everywhere you go. But yeah, the first strike was when they decided to not pay us. That was completely crazy. The second strike was kind of just how I was being treated in the environment I was in. Like, I basically came to work. I didn't really talk to many people. I'm not the kind of person who shows up somewhere and just kind of starts running his mouth. It's just not me. Some people, they're really talkative, and that's not a bad thing. But me, I'm not really talkative unless I'm very, very comfortable around you. And like, the people there were just just the higher up people were kind of, they were just complete douchebags. And I had one guy ask me if I knew how to read. And I mean, I don't even think that's something that should be tolerated by any human being. You should never be asked, can you read? Like, if you're a grown up, especially working at a job, if someone comes up to you and says, can you read? That's just the most disrespectful thing ever. I'm sorry. That's just completely disrespectful. But yeah, so it was real shady. They didn't pay us. And then it got to a point. This is where it got really crazy. It got to a point where, well, first let me explain this a little bit. They have a manager's office, basically, where the managers go and they do whatever they have to do that's important. Well, they decided at some point that they wanted to hide the schedule in there. So you have plenty of us asking, hey, where's the schedule? Where's the schedule? And it's nowhere to be found. Usually the schedule is left in the break room, and we go in there to see, when we work. But they decided to hide it in there. And since it's basically only for managers, we can't just walk in and see it. There's a lot of us, so we really want to see, what our schedule is. And what made it really infuriating was the fact that a lot of us put our blood, sweat, and tears into this job, because upon working here, it wasn't already built. We built it from the ground up. that's the thing. We build the shelves. We, put prices on all the stuff that was there. We did a lot of stuff. We had trucks coming in and we'd empty the trucks, and it was a lot of work. We did a lot, and just the fact that they first didn't want to pay us, they treated us like shit, and they hid the schedule from us was just completely crazy. Like, I mean, you can say whatever you want about that, but at the end of the day, I didn't know when I was working, so it was retarded, and it didn't really have a app. How Walmart or whatever has an app where you can see when you work, but this place didn't have an app, so we were kind of just wondering, do I come in today? Or so yeah, it was completely stupid. I just couldn't stay there. It's not somewhere I can be at all. That's basically just the best way to sum it up. It's just not somewhere where I can be. And I do feel that was just, that store that I worked at. I feel like that was just that store. Like, I don't feel like every other Ollie's was like that. For those of you who don't know, it's called Ollie's. I said Augie's. Ollie's Bargain Outlet is basically the name of it. And this video might be a little bit longer than I expected. But, so yeah, basically they hid the schedule from us. They treated us like garbage, and they didn't pay us sometimes. And I mean, that's just stupid. Honestly, I just can't imagine someone staying at a job like that. So after that, I went ahead and basically moved on to Walmart. Now, the thing about it is, a lot of people, like I said, they were basically saying that, oh, you have a weak work ethic, you should man up, this and that. Basically, my job at Walmart is, I work in the garden center, primarily on the register. Basically, I'm like a cashier in the garden center, but I'm really not, because that's not what my badge says. So basically, I'm just running the register, and it's a lot of standing, and I generally get like at least 40 hours a week, so I'm basically every 2 weeks I'm working 80 hours. It's not, I mean, it's simple math, it's not really rocket science. And at this place, I only combined, I think I only worked maybe 28 hours. And I left because the smell of and I probably didn't even mention that in the other video because I was so angry and so ignorant about a lot of things. Like, I do acknowledge that in that video I did sound very, not kinda, I did sound very ignorant and very upset. But that was just kind of more of, it wasn't a controlled rant, as I like to call it. It wasn't me carefully thinking the words that are coming out of my mouth. I was just kind of speaking off emotion in a way, but it wasn't necessarily emotion because it was actually everything that I experienced. And just, being at that place and being sick and all that, and because I mean, literally the second day I had to call out on my second day of working because I was just so freaking sick. I don't know why. I guess this the smell of grease. I don't know. It was retarded, but they expected too much of me at that job at the time. I don't mind you expecting a lot of me. Just give me proper training. What I'm saying basically is you don't hire someone and on their second day expect them to know as much as someone who's been working there for like 8 or 9 months, if you follow what I'm saying. And that's basically what they were doing, and I was left to do too much. I was basically left to do absolutely way too much. And at Walmart, I feel that the experience is more fair. I have been left in my own department by myself for a entire shift basically, and I mean, it's not that bad. I can work things out. I can still do things. And the reason for that is because I've been there for a long enough time to understand what I'm supposed to do in I wouldn't say every single situation, but every other situation, because, new situations arise and not everyone knows how to handle certain ones. When I was new there, I was never like thrown to the wolves and been like, all right, well, here you go. Here's your number to sign on to the register. Do your thing. It wasn't like that. When I first got there, I had 2 or 3 days of register training. Simple as that. And then, I did my thing. Occasionally I had people come in and check on me, and it was really simple work. And, a lot of people, they just tried to attack my work ethic, and they said that, just basically I'm not a hard worker. And I mean, everyone has their own thoughts and opinions. I know that I'm a hard worker. My videos can prove that. Some people may not look at videos as work, but in a sense, I kind of do. they're not really work, but in a sense I kind of do, because there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of this and there's a lot of that. You know, video editing, finding out what kind of gameplay you want to put behind your video, whatever you may be doing, it can become very time consuming. And anyone who's made videos can definitely understand where I'm coming from. So, yeah, man, like I was saying, I never felt like I was being thrown to the wolves. And when I finally was, I was ready. You know, it's not like they held my hand the whole way through. I was actually properly trained, and then bam, you know, I was sent out to do my thing. And that's not what I got at Chick-fil-A. It just wasn't a good experience. And, you know, your Chick-fil-A maybe, you know, it may be good, but hey, you know, the one I worked at, it wasn't so good. And to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm not trying to offend anyone when I say this, you know, if you work at a McDonald's or Burger King and you're trying to provide for your family, that's awesome. I'm not trying to offend anyone when I say this, but I do feel that I personally am way too old to be working at a fast food restaurant. I feel, you know, and a lot of you, I'm pretty sure all of you are going to disagree with that statement, and that's all right, you know, but just for me, I feel that I just don't need to be working at a fast food restaurant. I'm too old for that. I know I'm not really old. I'm like 20 for those of you who don't. I'm 20 years old. I'll be 21 in January, but I just feel that that's just behind me. You know, I feel that McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and Burger King, Zaxby's, I'd be working those at 16, 17, you know, but Walmart, you know, retail jobs like that, I feel like that's where, not where I want to spend the rest of my life, of course, that's definitely not it, but I feel that at this point in time, if I were to have any job, it'd have to be in there, in the retail area. It'd have to be in the retail category, because I just feel that, you know, fast food joints aren't for me, and, you know, with what I want to do with my life, it's just, fast food is just so below the radar. It's crazy. You know, it's just crazy. And the thought of being stuck into one small confined area for 8 hours a day, smelling hot grease and just trying not to fall over because the freaking floor is so slippery is just, it's not me. You know, it's just not me. That's the best way to put it. And basically, I just feel that working at Walmart has been a much humbling experience. It's been a hell of a lot better. And I'd say that it's probably my second favorite job so far. My second favorite. So basically, to close this video out, I just want to, you know, say that in that video, I was really mad, really upset for all the right reasons, of course. And I don't regret my decision. And a lot of you who said that I have bad work ethic, yeah, you can eat a dick because it's not like your opinion really matters, because I'm doing something that I enjoy a lot more than what I was doing back then. And I feel that the key to life is happiness. No matter what anyone tries to tell you, the key to life is definitely, without a doubt, happiness. So take that for what you will. You know, if you're stuck doing something like that you're not enjoying, stop it. Just completely stop it, because there are some people who are working at Walmart right now who are in the same position they're at when they first got there. You know, and that's mind-boggling to me. You know, you've been here for 20 years, but you're not even a manager. Like, that's. I mean, I'm pretty sure maybe they just didn't want to be. You know, that's fine, but that's just crazy. But you know, again, it is what it is. You know, people have their own paths that they like to choose, and that's fine. But for me, you know, mine's it's not fast food. It's not working at a fast food joint, and I'm glad that that part of my life is behind me. I'm ready to, you know, just do bigger and better things. Of course, Walmart is not my end game plan. It's not where I want to spend the rest of my life. That's just not at all, man. That's definitely not it. But for the time being, it's pretty good. It's treating me well. And yeah, I like it. So take that for what you will. You know, Walmart, pretty good. Chick-fil-A, didn't really care for it. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a rating. It really helps my channel grow. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Have a wonderful day.